Hi everyone, this is John Cawley at Plant-Based Life. Going to do a quick video here now to talk about something that a lot of people have contacted me about in recent weeks. So we've been promoting our food coaching workshops, our food coaching seminars, our products that we're going to do as food coaches, where we help and sit down with people and help them lead a more plant-based lifestyle, right? And we offer these services worldwide, not just here in Australia. But this is the question I've been getting asked by a lot of people. What is a food coach in comparison to a nutritionist, a dietitian? There's health coaches, there's all these different, there's nutrition certificates, there's nutrition degrees, there's the certificate of plant-based nutrition. It goes on and on and on, okay? There's many levels of different certifications and qualifications out there you can get, right? But here's the thing that you need to be fully aware of. You can only call yourself a nutritionist if you've done a 4-year degree, okay? You've got to do a 4-year degree at university or college, wherever that may be, to get fully qualified as a fully qualified nutritionist, okay? And that's the same with a dietitian as well. A dietitian also does a degree, but they're very different in their approach. Now, nutritionists, they can work in a clinic environment, they can run their own practice, and they have a lot of knowledge in regards to macronutrients, micronutrients, which everyone who does any nutrition at any level should know, okay? All the different, food groups, all the different vitamins and minerals you get from different foods. We should all know that, regardless of whether a food coach, dietitian, nutritionist, health coach, whatever. These are the things that we should know, and we should be able to talk about them. The key difference is a nutritionist can work directly with people who've got more, challenging health conditions or injury, well, not injuries as well, but injuries could be, more medical, but look, or physios or whatever. But look, basically, nutritionists have a wealth of knowledge. They do a 4-year, very solid degree. Some of them go on to do masters and PhDs and go even further in the nutrition field, okay? Because nutrition is a massive, massive area. It's not just one small little bit. Although we promote 100% whole food plant-based nutrition, when you do a nutrition degree, you have to cover everything, and then obviously you would go in the direction you choose to go at the end of your degree, or maybe before that, right? But that is the key difference. Now, there's a lot of people out there calling themselves nutritionists, and they're not. Like, as a food coach, a personal trainer, you're not qualified to give people detailed meal plans, right? There's a lot of people doing it, a lot of people out there doing it, right? What you've got to do is give advice to people. See, I'll give you the key difference between a nutritionist, a dietitian, and a food coach. The nutritionist, as I just mentioned, can go into all that detail, can work with high-end health professionals and get to an end goal of a person using nutrition as medicine to treat chronic health conditions and much more, okay? Now, a dietitian, they can do that as well, but they generally tend to be more towards the medical field, right? Even though they learn about nutrition, they don't learn nutrition as in depth as a nutritionist, okay? From my view. Now, a lot of people might come on here and dispute that fact, okay? I'm not starting this to start a debate or an argument, because the one thing I will say is that I know people who are nutritionists, I know people who are dietitians, I know people who are food coaches, I know people who are health coaches, and I know excellent ones in each of those fields, and I know I've met others who aren't as good, right? So it's not always about the qualification. The person themselves may go out of their way to learn a lot more wealth of information than what their qualification shows, and that does happen, and that's a great thing, because we should all do that. Okay? But I'm just saying, as a general rule, what each qualification allows you to do. Now, a dietitian, you can work with medical professionals. They tend to generally work more with medical professionals, because dietitians tend to be at hospitals and in medical establishments rather than nutritionists. Nutritionists tend to run their own practices, okay? Now, where a food coach steps in, a food coach, what we do, and it's a bit of a step up from a personal trainer, in that a personal trainer is there for exercise and will give you guidance on nutrition and macronutrients, micronutrients, what you need to fuel your body. But with a food coach, they are the missing link, as far as I'm concerned, between all of this, right? They are the people who comes in and helps you with the day-to-day steps to implement whatever the personal trainer, the nutritionist, the dietitian tells you, because at the end of the day, they can give you all this amazing information. You go home, you're on your own. you've got 3 kids at home, you've got a job, you know, you've got timelines to meet, you've got all these great instructions and food to buy that this nutritionist or dietitian has told you to do, or supplements to get, or whatever, or follow a strict regime for a little period of time to improve a certain health condition, but life gets in the way and you end up back at square one, right? That's where a food coach steps in. Food coach strips it back, okay? Explains some of the basics of the micronutrients, macronutrients, and the foods that the nutritionist or the dietitian has recommended for you, okay? And then helps you on tips on where to buy those foods, how to get them easily in your area, you know, how to work with food co-ops to get organic produce that you don't pay expensive amounts for. You know, we also look at your wellness. Food coaches work on the whole holistic approach, your whole body, right? So it's your mind-body connection, your stress levels, your sleep, okay? Are you actually absorbing the nutrients from the food you're eating? You know, are your emotions and your thoughts causing such turmoil within your body that your brain-gut connection is causing gut issues, right? There's all these things that we look at as food coaches. And we look at, you know, food coaches combine wellness coaching in their practice as well. So we look at the reasons why you have emotional eating, why you may go for certain foods, why certain thoughts will trigger you going for a certain food, sends a sign down to your microbiome that says, right, I need that sweet, sugary food, I need that yeast or whatever it is, right? So this is where food coaches come in. We help you lay out your kitchen. Really simple stuff, put together simple shopping lists, you know. Basically just the simple day-to-day stuff, little changes that make lifelong differences, okay? Getting more green smoothies into your diet, you know, starting slowly, maybe doing a short time juice fast or juice feast, but maybe, again, that should be medically monitored and supervised, okay? Because I go back and I just say that as food coaches, we aren't allowed to treat health conditions per se. We can give some advice, okay? We can steer people towards a nutritionist or a doctor or a medical professional, but we shouldn't come out and say this will help this and this will do this. You can give the advice and say this may assist you with a certain condition. You know, a scientific study has shown that this may help you, okay? But never come out and say something's gonna, you know, it's gonna fix it, because you just can't do that, okay? Now, a nutritionist can go to the nth degree. They can give you detailed meal plans, okay? And they can literally sit down and if they've got experience in the health condition that you've got, they can then go to more detail. They may have some scans. They might do scans to check your artery health, or you know, your blood pressure, or whatever else. There's so much they can do, okay? They're not a doctor, they're not a medical professional, although there are, very now and then you might meet a doctor who's qualified as a nutritionist. Very rare though. I know one, but there's not many around, and it's a shame, because doctors only do about an hour or 2 of nutrition on their whole degree. You know, if you have an accident, you need a doctor, don't get me wrong. You've got a medical emergency, you need a doctor, you need medical help, right? But if you've got a lifestyle related illness, doctors generally don't know how to treat. They know how to treat symptoms but not the cause, right? So, but that's a whole other subject. But anyway, I hope you've got a bit more clarity now on the difference between a food coach, a dietitian, nutrition. Also, there's health coaches as well. Now, health coaches are out there, and they're supposed to be a bit. They're like a food coach, with probably very similar. The difference between a health coach and a food coach is a very fine line, because food coaching isn't just about food. As I mentioned, it's about your whole wellness and health. So is a health coach. But you know, you get them from different areas. Like people go to the integrative, I think it's the integrative medicine in New York, I think they're called. A lot of people do health coaching through them. I did my food coaching through Nature Care College. You know, and then there's also the plant-based nutrition certificate through eCornell. Nature Care College now do a plant-based nutrition certificate as well here in Australia, so I'm planning to do that as well. So there's all these different certificates, but at the end of the day, they're just pieces of paper, and they all mean different things. Now, I would recommend, if you want to become a health coach and a food coach and you're plant-based, to also do one of the plant-based certificates. I'd recommend that. If you want to go a bit deeper and go further into nutrition, become a nutritionist, then do a nutrition degree. And if you want to work more in the medical field, become a dietitian. Now that would be my general advice, but there are dietitians out there who never work in the medical field. They work with their own practice and treat people individually. So it is a unique individual choice for people who might want to follow this route. But for those of you out there who are confused, looking for the right answer for you, I think I've just broken it down, okay? So they are the differences between dietitian, nutritionist, food coach, health coach, someone who's just got a plant-based certificate, you know, a personal trainer can give you very basic advice. And that's where it is, really. That's how it works. If anyone's got any questions, let me know. If anything's unclear, send us a message. And remember, get more plants on your plate. Peace, movement, and plants.